ನಾಳಿನ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ನ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸು, ಅದನ್ನು ಥೀಮ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವುಗಳನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ. ಇದರ ವಿಶೇಷ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವನ್ನ ನಾವೀಗ ನೋಡೋಣಂತೆ.
Theme based question and answer important for upcoming examinations. How do subsidiary alliance control Indian provinces? What were the conditions of subsidiary alliances? Third question, how did the British expanded their empire during Wellesley's period? Fourth question, how could the British place Indian states under their control through subsidiary alliance? Indian had to keep the British army in kingdom. King had to pay maintenance charge. Appointment of British residents in his court. King could not keep any Europeans. Company offered protection to the state. For these 4 questions, single answer. Effects of British land tax. First question, what are the impacts of British land tax system in India? Second, explain how the land revenue system of British affected the farmers in April 2018 and June 2019. And third question, land tax policies of the British affected the Indians' agriculture. Substantiate, September 2020. Fourth question, British land tax system made the Indians farmers born in debt, lived in debt and dead in debt. How? For these 4 questions, single answer. A new classes of zamindar was created. The farmers became landless slowly. Land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands to pay tax. The agriculture became commercialized. The money lenders became strong. For these 4 questions, a single answer. For 3 marks. British education or English education or modern education. First question, how did the education play a role in bringing new awareness among Indians? Second question, the British rule had major impacts on fields of Indians education. Justify. Third question, development is education and generalism lead to the freedom struggle in India. Explain. Fourth question, the British education system created a new generation of Indians with progressive attitudes. Justify. The new thinking and perception emerged because the British education created a new generation of Indians. How? And the last question, what were the impacts of British education in India? For these 6 questions, single answer. Indians developed modernity, Indians developed secularism, Indian democratic attitudes, developed nationalistic ideals, local literature developed, local language developed, periodical started, social religion movement started, fresh thinking began, influenced Indian freedom struggle. For these 6 answers, only single answer for 4 marks. Tipu Sultan or Third Anglo-Mysore War, Srirangapatna Treaty. First question, what were the effects of Third Anglo-Mysore War? What are the terms of the Treaty of Srirangapatna? Tipu was defeated, gave half of his kingdom, forced to pay 3 crores of rupees as war damage, pledged 2 of his children as hostage, released the prisoners of war. For 3 marks. Achievements of Krishna Raja Odayar IV. What are the achievements of Krishna Raja Odayar IV? Mysore became a model state during the administration of Krishna Raja Odayar IV. Substantiate. Krishna Raja Odayar IV was much interested in spreading education among his people. Justify. April 2023. Abolished fees in primary schools, helped girls' education, started University of Mysore, developed irrigation, reforms in gold mine, in railway lines were laid, formed legislative council, encouraged musicians, started many industries, established Indian Institute of Science. For 4 marks. Achievements of Chikkadevaraja Odayar. What are the achievements of Chikkadevaraja Odayar? Chikkadevaraja Odayar was a efficient soldier and administrator. Justify. Chikkadevaraja Odayar checked the innovation of Shivaji. He captured Magadha Madhugiri. He purchased Bengaluru from Mughal military general. He started the Athara Kacheri. The postal system came into being. A dam was constructed across river Kaveri. Chikka Devaraja and Dodda Devaraja canals were also constructed for irrigation. He patronized many poets. He had the titles like Karnataka Kaviratna, Apritama Veera, Tenkaraja and Navakoti Narayana. For 3 marks. Wars and treaty. First Anglo-Maratha War in Madras, Second Anglo-Mysore War in Mangalore, Third Anglo-Mysore War in Srirangapatna for 1 marks. Failure of 1857 revolt. The first war of independence. First question. What were the causes for the failure of 1857 revolt? Explain the reasons for the failure of revolt of 1857. The first war of Indian independence 1857 did not bring expected results. Give reason. Explain the causes for the failure of the revolt of 1857. What are the reasons for the failure of first war of Indian independence? The revolt of 1857 failed due to the various reasons explained. Lack of unity, no proper direction, lack of leadership, lack of planning, lack of organization, lack of common goals, not organized struggle, lack of strategies, lack of expertise, lack of support for Indian rules. Subhash Chandra Bose role in freedom struggle. Explain the role of Subhash Chandra Bose in Indian national struggle. Explain the role of Subhash Chandra Bose in the freedom struggle of India. Revolutionary fighters known as Netaji organized Indians in abode, told in organized Indians. President of Haripur Convention tried to get the help of Hitler. Founded Forward Bloc, founded INA in Tokyo, called for Delhi Chalo, battle between INA and British. Subhash dead in plane crash. Jawaharlal Nehru's contributions. Explain the contributions of Nehru after becoming Prime Minister. Nehru was a pioneer of developmental progression in independent India. Explain. Explain Jawaharlal Nehru's contribution to the development of independent India. Architect of industrialization, architect of modern India, architect of 5-year plan, architect of Panchashila principles, architect of atomic energy, architect of non-aligned movement, architect of foreign policy, achieved integration of princely status. Measures undertaken to eradicate gender discrimination. What are the measures undertaken by the government to eradicate gender discrimination? Second question. What are the measures taken by the government to improve the status of women? In June 2017 and 22, April 2022. Third question. In recent days, situation are the supporting to women to achieve betterment how? September 2020. The government has committed to improve the status of women. Justify. Women Education, Dowry Prohibition Act, Stree Shakti, Self-Employment, Mahila Mandashalas, Yuvanti Mandashalas, Women Self-Help Groups, Women Cooperatives, Women Commissions, Reservation in Government Jobs, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, Reservation Local Bodies. Action taken for the empowerment of gender minorities. What innovations have been taken to eliminate gender discrimination minorities? The Protection of Transgender Minority Act 2019, Integrated Rehabilitations for the Welfare of Gender Minority Persons schemes implemented. The National Councils of Gender Minority Persons have been formed. A national portal of transgender created. Shelter house named Garmiya Giha BM constructed. Karnataka has been implemented the gender minority state policy in 2017, giving opportunity to get education, joining government jobs and concedes elections. 1% reservation given in state government jobs. Differences between organized and unorganized workers. Work is organized sector, have fixed wages, have fixed time for works, have medical facilities. Unorganized workers work in unorganized sector, do not have fixed wages, no fixed time for work, no medical facilities for 3 marks. Problems of unorganized workers. What are the problems of unorganized workers? List out the problems faced by the unorganized sector workers. June 2022 and 23 in 2019. The unorganized workers are not bound by any rules. They get only low wages. They have no medical help. They are demanded for job securities. Sometimes organized workers were harassed by entrepreneurs. For 2 marks. Legal and constitutional measures to eradicate untouchability. What are the constitutional and legal measures undertaken to eradicate untouchability? Explain. Explain the constitutional and legal measures undertaken to eradicate untouchability. Explain the constitutional and legal measures undertaken to untouchability. How is the government trying to solve untouchability? In recent days, the practice of untouchability in India has started declining in region. In recent days, the practice of untouchability is fading in India. Justify. Article 17 prohibits untouchability. Untouchability Crime Act of 1955. Civil Rights Protection Act 1976. Practicing untouchability is punishable offense. Right to vote. Right to participate in election. Reservation in education. Reservation in employment. Soil erosion causes, effects, conservation method. Causes: deforestation, overgrazing, unscientific method of cultivation, over irrigation, etc. Manufacturing of bricks, titles and pots. Effects: accumulation of slits, river causes floods, river change course, loss of fertility, low groundwater level, vegetation dries up, drought increases. Conservation method: afforestation, counterflowing, construction of bunds, traced agriculture, prevention of deforestation, control overgrazing, planned use of water, construction of check dams. For 3 marks. Forests: important causes of destruction, method of conservation. Importance: pure air, food and fodder is provided. It brings good rainfall. It controls soil erosion. It is a shelter house for animals and birds. Medical plants. It attracts tourists. It provides employment. It controls ecological balance. Causes of destruction: expansion of agriculture, animal grazing, construction of road and railways, construction of irrigation projects, forest fires, mining. Method of conservation: cutting down dried up and abrasive trees, protecting the forest, trees against diseases, planting sapling, sowing seeds, control illegal cutting of trees, avoiding grazing of animals, creating awareness among peoples, implementing the social forestry projects. For 3 marks. Agriculture types. Importance. Types of agriculture: intensive farming, subsistence farming, secondary farming, shifting farming, commercial farming, mixed farming, plantation farming. Importance of agriculture. Agriculture is the main occupations of Indians. It supplies the food, grains for peoples. It improves employment opportunities. It provides raw materials for industries. It nurtures many industries. For example, chemical fertilizer, pesticides, insecticides industries. It supports even many tertiary occupations like transport, trade, banking, etc. For 3 marks. Cyclones, floods, landslides, earthquakes, coastal regions. Causes, effects and precautionary measures. Causes: heavy rainfall, deforestation, cyclone, urbanization, rivers changing their course. Effects: loss of life, loss of property, loss of crops, loss of vegetation, spread of diseases, disturbs transportation. Precautionary methods: afforestation, early warnings, avoid mining, temporary shelters, medical help, supply of food, supply of water. For 3 marks question. Industries, types of industries, industrial zones, factors influencing the local of industries. Iron and steel industries, cotton textile industries, sugar industries, aluminium industries, paper industries, knowledge-based industries. Industrial zones. Holi region, Mumbai-Pune region, Ahmedabad-Vadodara region, Damodari Valley Industrial Region, Southern Industrial Region, National Capital Region, Visakhapatnam, Gunturu region, Kollam, Thiruvananthapuram region. Factors influenced the location of industries. Availability of raw materials, energy resource market, technology, transport facilities, port facilities, availability of labor, availability of land at low cost. Government policies for 3 marks question. Rural development, important and role of Panchayat Raj institutions. Eradication, unemployment and poverty. Eradication, unemployment and poverty. Knowledge, skills and capabilities to work of rural people should be enhanced. Providing basic needs, developing human resources, providing employment opportunities for 3 marks question. Agriculture related activities should be promoted. The migration of rural peoples to cities should be avoided. Providing basic facilities to rural peoples. Small scale and cottage industries can be improved. Backward classes are assumed for continued employment opportunities. The villagers should be able to participate in the process of development. Expansion of irrigation, encouragement cottage industries, elevation of poverty and unemployment, enrich the rural culture, providing government facilities, providing social welfare services. Public finance and budget. Importance of public finance. Non-tax revenue of the central government. The government manages public finance, progress of the nation, to equal distribution of wealth, to maximize the production for the welfare of the peoples. The government takes steps to ensure a balanced growth, to eradicate poverty and unemployment, to establish financial stability. Non-tax revenue of central government. The net profit earned by the Reserve Bank of India. The net profit generated by the Indian Railways. The revenue generated by the Departments of Post and Telecommunications. The revenue generated by the public sector industries. The revenue generated by the coins and minorities. Variation types of fees and penalties etc. for 3 marks question. Banks deals with money. Banks may be person, firm or a company. Banks accept deposits. Bank advance loans. Banks provide various banking facilities. Bank always add banks to their names. Functions or services. Accepting deposit, lending loans, transferring money, collecting money on checks, discounting of bills, hiring safe deposit lockers, conducting foreign exchange transactions. Advantages. Safe custody of money. Safe custody of money. Helps in marketing payments, helps in collection of money, helps in smooth financial transaction, to get advantages and loans, to get safe deposit locker facilities. For 3 marks question. Creativity, innovation, dynamism, leadership, team building, problem solving, risk taking, decision making, self-confidence. And it functions. He starts business, he takes decisions, he coordinates, he introduces new methods, he handles budget, he bears risk and uncertainty. Importance, he promotes capital formation, he creates employment, he improves the standard of living, he removes regional disparities, he develops markets, he promotes export. For 3 marks question. Thank you.